Andy Signor here, live in my car, and I'm about to go into the eye of the storm. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. First, I just have to say thanks to all the texts and well wishes asking if my family and I are safe. We are doing okay. But I thought, with all this reporting out there, the action news coverage of this hurricane, the storm, I thought I should get out there and show you what it's like in the eye of the storm here in Florida, Tampa Bay area. So I am heading there against probably what my brain's telling me to do. I want to head out there and show you what it's like in these mad storms you're hearing about on the press. It can get pretty intense out there, so bear with me. I'm driving to a hub here. I'm gonna try my best to stay safe. I've brought my tripod. Hopefully we don't get blown away, but I'm gonna give you a taste of what it's like here in the Florida hurricane. Guys, I'm here in the storm. It's crazy out. It's so crazy out here, guys. The winds and the rain is insane. It's literally blowing me away, as you can tell here. The rains are pouring down, and I probably shouldn't be out here too long, as you can tell. Well, this is embarrassing. Embarrassing indeed. Well, thank you for your coverage, Andy. We are now back in studio. And look, my point is, guys, you got to be careful of this 24/7 hurricane coverage that the news outlets put out there. Now, I'm not saying this isn't reality sometimes, and it's scary for us Floridians because we are easily swayed and scared by how the media portrays these hurricane paths. I got to say, I give a big shout out to Dennis Phillips over on ABC Action News. I feel like he's the most grounded. I like him. He gave me the truth days ago and showed the path and assured everybody that this path was not going to cause much damage, and it turns out it hasn't. But you wouldn't believe that based on the tens of thousands of people watching these still 24/7 news coverage. In fact, watch this guy. This guy was so excited because he put himself in the windiest area, and oh my gosh, look at this billboard's about to break.
See right there, Joe. I'm going to move inside a little bit. We just saw this billboard ripping off right here. My cameraman, Paul Rigby,
oh my gosh, the
over there.
cloth billboard is blowing in the wind.
Starting to see that damage. This billboard
Look
is
at
about
this.
to come down.
The tie fell out and is blowing off, but not even really coming off.
And,
it's still staying on.
You know,
it's that bad, guys.
If this thing does go start flying, we can get inside really easily. But you're looking at that live picture right now. You can see how powerful this storm is. The wind's really picking up here.
Yeah, picking up. Look, I'm not trying to discredit. I'm sure there's going to be some damage. There's a lot of flooding we're seeing through all the reports as we've been going through. And it's going to cause some home damage for sure. But from what I've seen as of reporting right now, mayors and everybody, even on the panhandle where it hit, where the damage was most, no injuries yet sustained. People are waiting for recovery. It's just a lot of storm surge, as they called it, which is pretty much just flooding. And yeah, it's still very stressful for Florida homeowners, and we wish the best. And thankfully, this didn't hit harder. But even if it had, it was clearly not at a huge level of what it is. And it's sort of always the category levels, etc. They're even still trying to tell everybody, be careful. And yes, people should stay in their homes right now. Their homes should be safe to withstand this as it continues and pushes its way out. Thankfully, we're all very lucky in this case. Sometimes it's not. But what's so amazing about this weather technology is that they know pretty ahead in advance where this path is going. And then even as it gets closer, if the path isn't changing from what they've predicted, and this was pretty much what they predicted, you can sort of know what's happening. So hurricanes, yes, they're scary. And yes, thank you for all the well wishes. We are safe. Everything was fine. It was just some loud rain last night. Honestly, I felt like we've had worse rain showers just come in out of nowhere. But the media has jumped on this like crazy with Hurricane Idalia. And overall, I got to say, it didn't really feel like much at all for me, as you can see in that footage. It was pretty tame out there. Now, I hope everyone's okay. You never know what's going to happen in these severe weather instances, even with the flooding and some wind damage. But overall, as I've been watching all this coverage, yeah, this is the worst of it, that
and starting to take
part of a billboard flapped away. I think we did okay. I mean, that you'd think that crappy wooden billboard would have snapped off if this was as serious as everyone is saying, but no, it never does. But that's the footage. And yeah, most most of this stuff was just people out without even needing umbrellas or rain, and a lot of people just driving around. And here's how this is the reality of what is. So why are we still 24/7 coverage? I mean, we are because people are tuned in. Look at that, 32,000 people are still watching over here on NBC News Live because the media has hyped it. Also because it's just so slow. The news out there is beyond slow. As I'm checking on the latest, yeah, we're just seeing a lot of radar on the weather, on the rain, and what they call storm surge, which is how the water picks up and will definitely cause some flooding over the days. We get a lot of rain here, unlike California and other states, so it can actually not be great because it's going to cause a lot more damage. But there it is. That's where we are. Yeah, they're moving on to other stories there.
Really started out of the Louisiana culture.
But
National Tallahassee.
They did shut down the airports out of precaution. Thankfully, they shut down schools for the past couple days, which they use as for shelters and stuff.
Seeing there,
the magnitude.
But yeah, everything I've gathered.
Yeah, so right now we're going to be facing the increasing wind gusts as the storm is making landfall. Your field reporter showed it. We're seeing the winds get closer and closer to tropical storm force strength in Tallahassee and our wind gusts happening.
So
now.
it's going to be a lot of wind gusts, which again, I send all the thoughts out there to Tallahassee, the Panhandle region, so they are all safe. Stay inside, guys. Don't risk it. But we should withstand this one pretty well. We got lucky in this case. It doesn't mean now that this can't happen, and don't take it seriously when it happens. But you can tell they were all the weather people, all the news were jumping up like, we got a hurricane. Let's lean into this one and scare everybody to their wits' end, which sometimes is successful. Even I was a little worried, but thankfully. Dennis, I got to give Dennis Phillips again. If you want good weather out here in the Florida region, Tampa zone, Dennis Phillips is a voice of reason. I really appreciate his coverage. And his predictions were spot on. And at least gave a lot of us here in Tampa a breath of relief to not be as stressed as some of the media and outlets are out there. So again, I appreciate all the words. I wanted to give you something to report here and how it works here. Thank you for the support. I always appreciate you guys thinking of us and everybody here in the Florida state. Because yeah, this can get really damaging and scary, but more it's usually because of the media. If it's scary, you're given exit. They tell you to evacuate, and you shouldn't take that you should take those seriously. If someone's telling you to evacuate your area because they are seeing that the path is going to cause destruction, it most likely is, and that's where a lot of damage comes of loss of life and stuff. People who stubbornly don't want to leave their homes. So in that instance, I got to support. Evacuation warnings are a necessity and should be taken seriously. In this case, none of those were offered or given. Instead, we are now just dealing with wind gusts here, which should be just fine. So thanks again for all your support. We got lots more coverage to report on here on Popcorn Planet. In fact, I'd love your help finding other stories to talk about. It's dry out there, guys. I know a lot of you are sick of our Meghan and Harry coverage. I'm still fascinated, and we're going to be covering them a lot more in Popcorn Palace. But there's just not a lot of news that we've been passionate about these days. We're hoping to have some other interesting stories and cases to follow. So if you got suggestions, I'd love to see them suggest them on my social media. You can tell them in the comments down below. But I thought it'd be nice to get out there and show you the reality because I saw so many of you worried about me and my family. Thank you for that. It means the world to me. But we're good. We're fine. Thank you guys so much for supporting and watching here on Popcorn Planet. And stay tuned for more later today, tomorrow, and always. Thanks, everybody.